Good morning, everyone. Welcome to these divination sessions. We are diving into where you've been, where you are now, and where you're headed. So, kind of like a soul blueprint, clarity reading, just to hopefully bring some ease and comfort, contentment. Did I say clarity? Into your day. All of the above. Hopefully, some laughter and just some, again, my most intentional reason for doing these readings is just to help soothe your soul, ease your spirit, so you know that there's nothing you can do wrong. You're on the right path. There's no such thing as falling off your path. But yeah, 4 piles to choose from today. I'll let you select your card, use your intuition, or use a random number generator. And whenever you're feeling ready, we're going to hop into it. What's up, group number 1? Welcome to your reading for where you've been, where you are now, and where you are headed. Now, last night when I was shuffling these cards, because some of you guys might know that I like to shuffle the night before, I heard Spirit come through, and Spirit's like, now just remember, Marissa, that where people have been, like, not everyone's going to look at their past and think of it as like they've been through hell. So don't automatically assume for each of these readings that you're going to read a negative energy for the where you've been, right? I was like, okay, that was interesting. Okay, Spirit, I got it. Cool. And you guys know that I'll also pre-shuffle off camera just because I'm just like giving myself permission to explore with different things. But I really wish I was recording for this because literally for your where you have been card, you guys, and I don't mean to laugh, but I laugh just because it's like, I get it. You literally have the devil card that came up for where you guys have been. So, the clarifying cards here, you have the 5 of Cups, you have the 9 of Cups, and you have the Empress card. So I feel like this most certainly has to do with realms of just like finances, like where you have been. You've probably felt like for whatever reason you can never, like, your dreams are always going to be too out of reach. Dreams in terms of like the type of relationships that you want into your life, dreams in terms of just like body, what your body looks like. I'm hearing just like overall feeling that your biggest desires can actually manifest, right? I feel like this has to do with too, it's like this energy it's a strong energy of perpetuating. Like your past was a lot of self-deprecation and perpetuating narratives and perpetuating models and perpetuating just your karma, right? In terms of feeling like you are actually worthy and feeling that you are actually able to achieve what it is that you feel like you're here for, right? There's a lot of cards here signifying success and signifying manifestation. So I definitely feel like, we also have the King of Wands coming through. So I really feel like this has to do in realms in terms of your dharma overall, in terms of just your life path overall, and you having like feeling like your dreams are so big, but also for the life of you, it seems like you have felt so bound to certain karmic patterns, so bound to certain karma, like you can't shake yourself out of it, right? We have a card here, my energy creates my reality. What I focus on is what I will manifest. So I feel like you've been with this devil energy in the past. It was like overly focusing on things that needed to play themselves out anyways, like when we start gaining a certain amount of willpower in our incarnation, it's like just because we have an awakening, it doesn't mean that automatically we shift into a new paradigm. Like our lens of perception, is it's like flickering between realms. It's flickering between this very static realm that we once were in, where it was mostly our karma dominating, and then it flickers between the realm of like our divine path and our soul's blueprint and what our higher self had intended for this incarnation. So it's not like you automatically make that switch. And it's important too to remember, especially in the beginning phases of awakening, there is going to be a lot of ties still, a lot of tethers to that old karma. And so it's really important. Like this is something that I wish I had teachers to communicate to me when I was first awakening. It's essential to remember that, just because you are now newly awakened and practicing all these spiritual principles, you're not going to snap out of, your current paradigm just like that. There's a lot of karma. There's a lot of energetic momentum that's been building up to this point in time, right? that set a certain foundation that was also an essential part of your soul's blueprint that needs to be cleared, right? So that's going to kind of run itself out. So it's essential to allow that process to happen without overly focusing on it, without tethering yourself and binding yourself to even greater karma through overly focusing on it, right? So I feel like in the past there was an over focus on like things that didn't work out for you, relationships that didn't work out for you, careers that didn't work out for you. But at the like, it's so funny because even though like, it's like your subconscious was that battle with itself. So on one hand, it's like, okay, I'm undeserving, I'm unworthy, but there was another part of you, but that was like, no, but like, I can do this. Like this is possible for me, right? Your angels might have been communicating with you like recently or throughout this time period, specifically with the number signs 111 and 444, right? But it just feels like your subconscious was split between feeling like nothing ever works out, and for the life of you, you can't shake off these old energies, and maybe feeling disappointed about how some certain relationships went, etc. But there was always more within you, my pile one. There was always more within you that said, but I am here for something great, right? But feeling maybe a sense of frustration that you couldn't bring it out or you couldn't manifest it, right? I mean, the bottom of the deck energy is literally the Magician. I mean, in conjunction with this card, like I create, like it's like he's looking at this, he's reading these words, right? My energy creates my reality. What I focus on is what I will manifest. So I feel like in the past, yeah, we have Wheel of Fortune underneath the Magician here. So I feel like in the past, it was like an over focus on like your karmas just running themselves out and like, why is it not here yet? Maybe some frustrations, maybe going back and forth with certain patterns and habits and addictions that were non-serving. But where you are now, I am seeing that you are feeling very determined. You know, this is another card that's coming up that kind of tells me that this is in the realms of your career. I'm trying to get it so you guys can see these cards better. But yeah, there's a sense of like not waiting anymore, like striking, right? There's a lot of energy here. Like the cobra is known to strike when it's ready. I mean, we have a lightning bolt coming down in the background. So I did see an association when I was laying out your cards between the devil's, the feet being on fire and then this lightning bolt. It's like allowing that, the energy of your karma, like utilizing that, right? I feel like in a big way that has also been like you guys, my pile number one, you guys are the type of pile that because you feel so much potential within you, it's like, it's almost this sense of being at war with yourself, which I guess we all are, but I'm really getting strongly that you have been like, no, I'm not going to let this fucking karma win. Like a sense of frustration and a sense of like, no, you will not. Like I will prevail, right? I will prevail. So I am seeing that at this point in time, there's a sense of building something, like you're building a community, you're really working on your career. Again, this is very career focused, or just like what it is that you want. Like again, your dharmic path, like you're figuring out your dharmic path. I feel like this is something that maybe you have kind of have playing around with for a while, but I feel like for the majority of my pile number ones, this is something that you guys have just started. This definitely feels like a fresh beginning. But right now, the energies that you guys are currently embodying, it seems like something might have happened to really catalyze you out of this kind of stagnant energy. Depending on how long each one of you guys has been on this journey of coming out of this devil energy into this present. This current energy is going to be different for most of you guys, right? It could be anywhere between 3 months to 3 years is what I'm seeing, right? But there was definitely a catalyst that happened that I feel like kind of finally gave you permission to stop fucking around and to stop playing small, right? To stop selling yourself short, or stop thinking that everyone else knows better than you, right? I feel like you're really coming into terms and understanding that like everyone is just, making it up as they go, and that no one actually knows more than you do. I feel like there's a lot here suggesting you also are working through beliefs of scarcity, like scarcity beliefs with this Four of Cups. Because this card in particular in this deck does talk about like greed and like this energy of hoarding. Yeah, so currently there is a sense of building yourself. There's a sense of looking forward, like there's a sense of not turning back, of understanding where you've gone. I'm hearing that you guys are starting to connect the dots. Here you're starting to look back and connect the dots in terms of why you had to go through what it is that you went through. Right, I feel like you guys are just in a much more accepting energy in terms of just where you've been and in terms of your karma, and appreciating yourself, appreciating all that. I feel like the only time that you look back is when you are learning to connect the dots, or you just are looking back to see how far you've come. Because I am hearing that you guys have made a significant amount of growth in a short amount of time. And I'm also hearing that, over the course of these 3 months to 3 years, whatever that applies to you guys, there's not just been one moment of realization. There's been several, right? We have 3 lightning bolts coming down. Yeah, the number 333 might be significant too, because 3 is just coming through very strong here. But I feel like you guys have had a number of catalysts that have kind of just like finally shooken your world up enough to be like, you know what, there's no more waiting. Like I'm done fucking around. I'm done waiting. I'm done, feeling like a victim to this old ass energy. And I'm done feeling like everyone else knows better than me. Like I have gifts. I have a lot to offer to this world, and I'm not playing around anymore. And I feel like you guys are showing up right now very empowered. Like the cobra and this cheetah are both looking in the same direction. Right? So overall, I feel like you don't understand the extent to which you have been activated. It does feel like you've been going through a significant amount of activations. And, activations oftentimes, especially because we have the snake card here coming up, or, the snake image here, activations aren't always pleasant. It seems like you guys really were taken into the depths of yourself, or whatever dark night of the soul you went through. Or this might have just been saying like, this quite possibly could have been your first awakening, or at least one of the first few significant ones within your incarnation. But that doesn't have to be the case for all of you guys. I feel like it never really does get easier. We just become more able and adept at working with the energy versus trying to run away from it, right? So you guys are really showing up as someone that is, because you're moving forward in such a powerful way, I'm not surprised you do have this purge, right? You do have a purge of just scarcity. I just see this card as being like scarcity mindset in general. But where you guys are headed, I mean, it's very clear that you are headed in the direction of starting something new. So this might be a new career. This might be a new venture, or a side hustle. But you are where you are headed. You are making something. You are building something long lasting for yourself that's going to bring a lot of success on many levels. It has to do with the realms of communication. It has to do with the realms of staying youthful and staying when I say youthful, but I mean more of childlike. Keeping that childlike innocence. It has to do with sharing your wisdom. This very much has to do with, it could have to do with guiding others through a similar process, or just, being a mentor for other people. But I'm seeing you guys working with other people and working with soulmates. Just this Lover's card in general always reminds me of soulmates. And just moving in the same direction with people, finding your community. That did come through with something that you're already building now. You're building a community, and moving in the direction of your dreams, right? It's all of this devil energy and all of this bullshit that you felt like, everything that you felt like wasn't possible, but you're but I could, right? I feel like that's moving out of the realms of just being something in your imagination, and you're currently starting to see small manifestations of that. And you can't even, maybe you're getting glimpses of it, but I'm really seeing that you don't understand. You truly don't understand the depth of what it is that you're creating for yourself, and just the magnitude of people that you are going to impact and people that you're going to work with. I am seeing this too as, I'm not interpreting this Nine of Swords, or what is this? Is this the Nine of Swords? Yeah, this Nine of Swords in a negative way. I'm seeing this sword as being what's poking these eyeballs. So I feel like it's where you're headed, you guys, is anytime a doubt tries to resurface, it's you are going to have the tools, you have the resources, you have the practices available to you in order to see it for what it is, right? This is seeing things with, these are normal eyeballs, right? These are your physical eyes. So this to me is being you're not taking things for face value anymore. You guys are heading in a direction where you're showing up extremely empowered, very mature on many levels, really good with your finances. And this is all a manifestation of, what you're focusing on. My energy creates my reality. What I focus on is what I will manifest. And so I feel like you're starting to focus on where you're headed, where you are now, and where you're headed is you are seeing how everything is only here to work out in your favor, right? It doesn't mean that what I focus on, it doesn't mean that we're lying about what's happened to us or what's happening in our current reality, but it's the way that we're viewing it. It's the lens that we are viewing things, right? It's that our lens of perception is what colors our reality. And that's what you focus on. That it's the energy. It has less to do with the forms. It has more to do with the energy. So I am hearing that you are choosing from here on out, you are choosing to see more and more that things are just shaping you into who you are meant to be, shaping you even more, preparing you even more to being this bomb-ass entrepreneur, this bomb-ass individual or like friend and lover too, especially. Whenever a lover's card, like the lover's card shows up in a reading, like I take that to mean just everything that you could possibly dream of, right? That to me, that can be symbolic of like what in our reality, what in our worlds, or what in our inner realms have we written off as being too good to be true, or like, oh, probably not going to happen, right? But I am seeing that like you will be looking back at this point in your present and be like, wow, I had big dreams then, and I'm so proud of that person for following through, but I could never have imagined that it was going to look like this. Like that is what your future self is saying. Like I never could have imagined that this is where it would be. And it's like any type of illusion, any type of misperception that comes your way, like you're going to actually see it for what it is, and you have the wisdom and you have the wherewithal to pierce through those veils of illusion, right? So I am seeing a lot of success for you guys despite where you've been. It's like you had to go through this hell. You had to go through almost this almost like this humbling. You had to have these humble beginnings in order to, because I am seeing you guys are very powerful. And humble beginnings, right? So you could be the most malleable servant for the highest, right? For your dharmic path to manifest before you, for you to be emptied of your own ego, your own smaller will, enough so that your soul stream can come through and work through you, right? So beautiful energies, a lot of catalysts probably currently happening in your life, continuing to happen in your life. It feels like you're in the beginning stages of building something, or you feel like you're in the beginning stages of building something, or maybe just like a new aspect of something you've already been building, and it's helping you address scarcity mentality. But it seems like there's catalyst after catalyst right now that are kind of shaking out this old karma, really helping you tie the ends off of this old karma, helping you connect the dots of the past and, the present. And again, reminding you that even though shitty things can happen, even currently, we don't know how that's shaping us, right? And what that's preparing us for. And so because you're focusing, you have such a growth mindset, I feel like this is like really quickly, sooner than you think, right? There's a lot of air. There's a lot of, with this tower, there's a lot of quick moving energy, kind of slow in the beginning, but of course it's like just building more momentum. It's like, you're going to feel unstoppable. You're probably already tapping into that energy, but more and more your future self is just going to feel unstoppable. Like, try me. Like, you don't know where I've been. And like, I know I'm going somewhere, right? So a lot of success in store currently, currently, present, past, present, future, a lot of success. My camera is starting to malfunction again. So I'm gonna leave this reading here for now. If it resonated, give this video a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe if you've already been here before. I know you'll be back, and I hope I see you soon. What's up, group number 2? Welcome to your reading for where you've been, where you're at now, and where you're headed. So this is a really beautiful pile. I'm getting goosebumps already. I already have your cards laid out here, and I was just wanting to get the essential storyline before I hit record on this. But essentially, where you guys have been, I feel like you guys have always been a group that has been really in tune with just the magic of life and the wonders of life. You've gone through quite a bit of healing, is what I'm hearing, throughout your incarnation. You've been through very many challenges, like us all. Like, we all go through challenges. However, what I am really seeing here for you guys, pile number 2, is you've really done the work of transmuting that. You've really done the work of integrating those lessons and of understanding the bigger picture for things. I feel like you've always felt really guided and very led by something much bigger than yourself. You've always been pretty in tune with your guides and very in tune with cosmic intelligence. I'm hearing that your crown chakra has always been very active. Now, whether or not you've always felt grounded on this earth plane is another story, but I am feeling that, overall your third eye and your crown have been very, very active. You receive a lot of visions. You receive a lot of intuitive insight. You're really led by the heart. See how his heart is illuminated here. So I feel like you've always been this kind of individual that is a big dreamer and that just really does expect the best out of life. That's not sometimes, you guys, like we start off with that in our lifetime, and then we can lose that as we get older, and as the, you know, the world crumbles down on us, and as we meet challenges, and, you know, just depending on how we integrate those challenges and how we choose to view those challenges can most certainly influence whether or not we are extracting the juice of what those were here to teach us, right? You know, in Ayurveda, the philosophy behind it is if you have a strong digestive fire, not just like physical digestion, but just like your spiritual, mental, emotional digestion, if that fire is not strong, you're not going to be able to extract the nutrients of what it is that is coming into your experience, right? What it is that's coming into your field. But it seems like you guys you have a very strong digestive fire. You have a very strong fire in general. And I'm hearing that, you know, having a focus on the bigger picture has really, really aided you, because I am hearing that regardless of what you've been through, you've always kept in mind, like, or in heart, I should say, that I don't know how, but I do know that this is setting me up for something great. Like, it looks shitty right now, but it's like you've really taken all the motherfucking lemons that life gives you, and you make something beautiful out of it. You make something very sweet out of something that could have potentially left you feeling very bitter and very sour towards life. So yeah, overall, I feel like your past has been one of many challenges, but many healings. Like, you're finally integrating. This might be your most recent past too, of just where you've spent the past year, for example, just really integrating and really coming into alignment with being content with your storyline and where you've been and who you've been, and not judging yourself, and not to say that, you know, we don't have hiccups along the way and misperceptions of ourselves along the way. But ultimately, I feel like you are, your most recent past really does feel like one where you're really content with things, and it makes sense, right? Things make sense, and you're just okay with the storyline. You're okay with the human drama. It feels just like very light and a very accepting energy of like, it is what it is. You know, I just saw 333 when I looked up, but it is what it is. You know, I was doing the best I had with what I was working with back then. And now your present moment, I mean, it really does feel like the universe has got your back. I mean, we have the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Hermit, we have the Chariot, we have the Nine of Swords. And it's interesting because what I am seeing with this Chariot and this Nine of Swords card, like how they lined up, I feel like this Chariot, just like the energy that you've built up to this point in time, like you just bulldoze through the bullshit so easily, right? It's like nothing stands a chance. Like your insecurities that might have, you know, in the past really gotten the best of you, they don't stand a chance anymore. I feel like I am hearing that when you guys do get in a rut, it's not that you're there very long. And when you are there, the reason you don't stay there very long is because you are just like so content with the process of life, right? With the Wheel of Fortune, just like what goes up must come down. And you're just like so content with riding the waves and so content with not making it mean anything more than it is. You guys just really seem like very wise, very advanced souls. Like, this is not your first rodeo. This is definitely not your first rodeo. Maybe you might have even taken, I'm not even going to get into like the different incarnations on different planets, but y'all have been around the motherfucking block is what I'm saying here. And I feel like you've been in a state of contemplation. You've been in a state of just in awe, just like this woman is sitting on a cliff, like looking out over. You guys might have found yourself doing the same thing, like sitting near bodies of water and just gazing out into the water, right? And just like being so illuminated, right? She's illuminated, inner illumination, right? That's one of the reasons why I feel like you guys have done so much true healing, is because it's not just on the level of mind. Like, this feels like illumination from the inside out. Like, not trying to make yourself feel better is what I'm trying to say, like on a mental level, but truly feeling within your bones that it's all good and who you've been is all good. I've been having some difficulties, y'all, with my camera today, and I'm trying to keep myself cool-headed about it because it's been frustrating. But I feel like you are starting with all this contemplative energy, that you guys are feeling very attractive. You're very magnetic. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of momentum building for like you popping literally into a new paradigm that feels super bright, super abundant. And, you know, I don't know when you guys are watching this, but I did get some clarifying cards throughout your reading, because, like, I'm like, past and present looked great. And then we had these two cards come up. My vow number 2. We had these two cards coming up. I'm like, Spirit, why is that where they're headed? They're doing so good. But when I got some clarifying cards, right, we have the Queen of Swords, the Six of Cups, and the Justice, it made more sense to me. That someone from your past, I feel like, is coming in. Maybe with an apology, and it would be someone that left your, that you had a lot of karmic type of energies with. But I feel like they can sense your glow up, and they're sensing all that you're stepping into. And I feel like they genuinely loved you then. I am getting this really precious kind of soulmate, we've done this before type of energy, but this is someone that might have been, like, it might have been quite a long time, right? We have a little kid going from a little kid to a grown-ass man. So this might be someone from your past coming in that you haven't, like, it's been years. Like, yeah. Like even over 6 years for some of you guys that you haven't even spoke to this person, but this might be like a soulmate or something, a karmic relationship, maybe even first love is what I'm hearing for some of you guys that is coming in. And yeah, I do know also too that we are approaching, depending on when you watch this is going live in January of 2022. So I do know we're entering a Venus retrograde during that time. And so, that is known to be a period where past lovers come back. But I am hearing that like something about this connection and something about this dynamic is going to make sense. Like it feels like the scales are finally balancing. It makes sense. It doesn't feel like they're getting karma or you're getting karma or anything. It just feels like you're coming to terms with what happened. And I feel like you're going to approach this coming in. Like it feels like they have grown a lot and you've grown a lot. And it seems like you are going, like, I'm getting this sense because they're showing up as this knight energy and you're showing up as this queen. It doesn't, like, gender doesn't matter here, but I am just take this as like maturity levels. Like the person coming back in really seems like a bit less mature than you, or at least that's how they feel, right? Because I feel like it's so clear you've gone through so much growth. And I mean, they probably knew you when you were probably great back then when they knew you, but it seems like too that they've always known you to be this way. They've always known you to be so strong. And I feel like, oh my God, I feel like part of their message for you is that they always knew that you were going to amount to something great and that you were going to do great things. And I feel like they kind of want to come back in, and maybe there was like some unfocused, like unfinished business or unspoken words, like words left unsaid or something. But I am seeing that maturity levels, they see you as being out of their league. This might have been what they felt back then too, and maybe why it caused them to act out or to act in ways that really hurt you, because they never really felt like they were good enough, or they always felt like they just felt like you had a leg above them, and so they wanted to cut you down in a weird way, or belittle you, or make you not feel as good as you actually were. And it's not even like they did this for malicious intents. Some of them might be narcissists, but it feels like mainly them trying to prevent their own heartbreak, to the extent that I feel like they always kind of assumed you would do to them. I'm getting this energy of they probably are always assumed that you would break their heart in a certain way, or that you could, right? And maybe that did happen. Maybe this time of separation, maybe that was you initiated that or something, or it was something that felt out of your guys' control, because it does seem like this was something that might have occurred when you guys were a bit younger. But it seems like you definitely do have someone from your past coming back in to right past wrongs, or to just like just to catch up, or just to see how you've been. It's like, again, you're showing up very magnetic with all of this major arcana coming through. You're very magnetic. There's a lot of power behind you. You guys are on your game. You are on top of the world. You are doing your practices. You really know who you are, right? And that's magnetic to everyone. It's like this is this subconscious thing when we feel people that have been part of our lives, and we can feel them glowing up, and we can feel them moving on to great things, and like we want to be a part of that, right? And it seems like this person, like it's not even like they want to be part of it because they're like trying to feed off your success in any way. Like that's not the energy that I'm getting from this, but it's just like they genuinely care about you, and I feel like they genuinely missed you. Like there's this very nostalgic energy, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is someone that you have also been thinking of recently, right? That you've been pondering on, like the connection, because I feel like it's no accidents with that these things happen. Like when the planets align in a certain way, we go through certain retrogrades. Like, it's no accidents. Like, it's all meant to purge certain things, and to purge any, to deep dive into the shadow realms and the tiny aspects of our incarnations and our subconscious that might otherwise be going unnoticed. So I feel like, yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised, just for a lot of reasons, that someone from your past would be coming in. Wouldn't be surprised if it's also multiple people, but, you know, just trying to explain to you their view of things or their side of the story, and wanting to balance, you know, their karmic scales and get something off their chest. And I wouldn't even be surprised if they're just like really feeling the waters to see where you're at with things, and to see if you want to, you know, to maybe just see where you're at with things. I'll leave it at that. I'm going to leave off with this message from the universe card. I am a spirit having a human experience, and I'm here to get closer to love. I feel like this is definitely, this is just what you've embodied. Like, your whole incarnation feels like an embodiment of this, of someone that's very mystical, someone that's very like outside of this world, someone whose spiritual eye, they see more through their spiritual eye than they do their physical eyes. And that's what's made it so easy for you to move through this past karma and these past traumas. And that's why you've never lost that spark of like, great things are not only possible for you, but you know it's inevitable for you, right? There's a deeper part of you that knows that it's inevitable, and you're in this space right now of like, anything is possible. You feel the fates turning in your favor. You have a ton of momentum behind you, supporting you. Any obstacles that try to stand in your way, you like, they don't stand a chance against you. And so now you're just beaming so much love and so much radiance, and you're so incredibly magnetic that it seems like there's someone that has had a lot on their heart for quite a while. You are someone that they haven't been able to stop thinking about. Again, this could be 6 years or whatever feels like a long time for you, like 6 months to 6 years is really what I'm seeing here. But I am getting it's more on the longer side, in terms of like when you've last spoken to someone. And it does feel like this could potentially be someone that's your first love, and that you may or may not be in contact with. And someone that you also would probably be thinking of, and like, why the hell am I thinking of this person so much? Like, it's been so long, you know. Just expect that, and all good things to come. You guys are doing great. That might be confirmation of who it is. It might be some sort of earth sign, but we have the King of Pentacles coming up. So yeah, it seems like they've done a lot of growing and a lot of maturing as well. Like, they seem like they've established themselves, or that they're really been focusing on their career. And I feel like they would actually surprise you. Like, it would actually be a really pleasant surprise conversing with this individual. So I'm going to leave this reading here for now. If this brought clarity, peace, confirmation to your heart, please like this video, comment any fun synchronicities down below. I love reading the synchronicities, man. If you've been here before, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I hope I see you soon. What's up, pile number 3? Welcome to your reading for where you've been, where you're now, and where you are headed. So this is a very interesting pile. I feel like this is definitely has to do with one aspect of your life in particular, where you were trying to make sense of something. It's like you were trying to make sense of why you were rejected by someone, or why you were not good for someone, or good enough for someone, or why you felt that way. I feel like this has to do with probably a romantic interest, but I feel like this has been something that you've been battling for a while, of like, why did something not work out with a specific individual that you felt like you could see on one level that you were good enough, or that like they felt like your counterpart. Like, you saw this person, you met this individual, and you're like, oh my God, this is my person. But for whatever reason, like, it didn't feel right, or it didn't feel ready. You weren't ready, they weren't ready, whatever. There was a lot of misperceptions that it seems like was happening. Because I am seeing a lot of like karmic type of things, karmic clearings. There's definitely a big lesson that you were to extract from this and to understand. Quite a few. Your present moment alone is only comprised of major arcana. So I feel like there was something in your past. There was a significant person, or a significant, like, it might have even been like a situationship where it felt like you needed to prove yourself, or again, it felt like you really needed to have some sort of advantage, or you needed an advantage, or you wanted some sort of advantage, or like it really felt, I'm really feeling this energy of like, you know, 7 of Wands is staking your claim. So I am getting this sense of seeing someone as your counterpart, and for whatever reason, it didn't work out, or you rejected them, or they rejected you, or, you know, maybe they never came forward and you were left confused, or there's definitely a lot of confusion is what I'm feeling like, because this can mean so many different things depending on who's tuning into this. But I feel like overall it's this idea of like something that seemed promising, for whatever reason not aligning, like someone that really seemed like they were your person or your divine counterpart or whatever, not being able to get on the same page with it, or someone feeling like they're not good enough, or someone feeling like they're battling essentially against themselves and their own demons and their own darkness. Because where you guys are now, I feel like you're in a space of you're finally making sense of what all this karmic stuff was, right? It's like when I see justice, I generally think of karmic justice, but like especially with the devil, which to me represents karma, this is literally saying karmic justice, you know what I mean? So I feel like because it's clarifying justice, you guys are finally in a space where I don't feel like it's had its grip over you anymore. Like I feel like you're in this place where you feel untethered to this finally. It feels like a long time coming with how much you had been grappling with yourself and how much you had been, trying to convince yourself that you are good enough, right? And I feel like that trying to convince yourself or trying to like affirm yourself into that reality, I feel like because it was coming from a very mental place, that deep down you didn't really feel it, and that you kind of knew that you were trying to convince yourself of something. But it seems like maybe you've had space, or there's been a long time, like some contemplation periods that you've had in terms of this individual, where you're finally able to see it for what it is, right? Judgment ruling over the devil is like seeing something for what it is, seeing like this sneaky little karmic pattern for what it is, right? Being able to call it out and finally feeling like the scales have tipped in your favor to where you are no longer taking the bullshit. You're no longer taking the bait. Like you're cutting the chain, right? You're finally cutting the cord, maybe even for some of you. I'm hearing that for some of you, it's like you weren't able to shake this person. Like this person remained part of your energetic field for a very long time, a lot longer than you probably would have even liked, pile number 3. But I am hearing that, it's all for a reason. And I feel like maybe part of you felt like, yeah, like they were the catalyst, obviously, but there was something so much deeper going on. I feel like this individual was someone that felt like they were on your level, and I feel like you probably don't feel that very often with people, where people are on your level and you're like kind of settling when it comes to romantic counterparts or something, or like, all right, I'll do this for now. Oh, that came across so yuck. I didn't mean it like that, but just like, just killing time with soulmates. Or something, versus like this person felt like, wow, this is my counterpart. This is my other half, right? Or they could have that potential for whatever reason. And I feel like it was necessary for you to be under that veil of illusion. Not to say it couldn't be true, but I'm just saying that veil was there to serve its purpose, because it got you asking the deeper questions, the more important questions, which is, just how great you actually are, how you can actually support yourself mentally, financially, emotionally, right? This was to bring you into a more independence, right? The devil can also represent like codependent energy. So I feel like maybe if things had worked out the way that you wanted them to, or anticipated them to, or desired for them to in the past, like you would have been bound to really intense karma, my friend. And so, I feel like maybe you were just not at a place emotionally to be able to handle a type of connection to that magnitude. Like it might have been easier for you to like give up your sense of self and just like kind of compromise your vision, your purpose. I'm hearing that you've really been building yourself, and you've been building your dreams, and you've been going after your dreams. And so it felt like that in the past, because I am seeing that it does say over here that something that wasn't victorious in the past is like going to be victorious in the future, because these 2 cards are showing up in your future position, along with the 9 of Cups, right? So this was literally meant to take you to the state of like ultimate independence, where it doesn't even matter. Like Spirit wanted you to get in the state of, it doesn't even really matter if it's this person or if it's freaking, Joe Mo Schmo from down the street 18 years ago, whatever, right? But because ultimately Spirit wanted you to get in a state of where you were fully self-sourced, right? My happiness is a direct reflection of my level of faith in the universe. right? Your happiness is a direct reflection of your connection with God, with your connection to your higher self, with your connection with your soul self. And so I feel like that's a big reason. It had nothing to do with your perceived limitations, right? Of your perceived not being good enough. Because I am hearing that you were equal, right? You guys were very much so within the same realms. It was just a misperception. Right? It's not saying that this is not showing up as like being the Page of Pentacles, right? This is the Queen of Pentacles, but there was a misperception of yourself, or like the feminine energy, or the more feminine whatever in this group. Gender doesn't really matter. However this applies, take this how it applies. I am saying that you were the individual though that didn't feel good enough and that you felt rejected, and that no matter what, it's like I feel like you might have tried to make it work out. It felt like there were so many other people begging for this person's attention, probably too, because you guys are both showing up very empowered. But it's like you had to go through this process of immense transformation. So you're not relying on anything external to be your source of validation or to be your source of security on any level. So again, you might have been working on, your business, or working on, getting to a state of like financial independence and financial freedom. And it's like the future holds for you. It's like, I do see this as something coming in hot, right? Whether that is this person from your past, or whether that is just like a new offer. But again, it's like feeling this sense of something that felt unsuccessful or non-victorious in the past, like now is coming through tenfold. Right, the Chariot just bulldozes the Six of Wands, right? But I just feel like ultimately it's it's one of those things how sometimes, it's shitty in the moment. We don't like feeling like that and like rejected or not good enough in the moment. But when we really do have our third eye activated, that third eye thirst is just so nourishing, because it really does. In hindsight, we're just like, oh my God, I'm so happy that didn't work out, right? Like, I'm so glad that I got to this point to where I could really be self-sourced and self-sufficient. So I'm not relying on someone else for my happiness. I'm not relying on someone else for, my well-being, or to feel valued or loved or anything. It's like this really got you into a place of like, you were already good within yourself, within like with or without anything in your life. Like this has really brought you into a state of like very spiritual. I'm getting that like a very spiritual understanding from this group. And so ultimately it's like anything then that happens is just like a bonus, right? Your happiness levels, your joy levels, your contentment is like already there. But so now anything that comes in and adds to that is just like already a bonus, right? And there's so much more presence. There's so much more palpability behind it, because again, you're not relying on this other thing, because it's from the inside out versus the outside in. And so it looks like it was really preparing you for, like not only was the spirit really have your back here, but like you were on your game, like you were your future looks like someone that is like super self-sourced, right? And someone that it's not even going to be a question in your mind if you are good enough for someone. Like you are just going to know that like you are bomb.com, and it's almost like you're just waiting for, you're just chariot after chariot is coming through to like offer you things, to offer you, a hand in something. And it's like, I feel like this past version of yourself is going to feel like just like a faint memory of like, oh my God, that was a different lifetime when I questioned myself so much. And it's like, you needed to go through this period of growth and self-discovery, in order to really attract what you're deserving of as well. Because there might have even been a sense of you maybe put this person on a pedestal, or whoever this was for you. This could be just symbolic for what you tend to do in most dynamics when you really like someone, putting them on a pedestal and waiting for that rejection, waiting for the shoe to drop or something, feeling like you're, on the outside, it seems like you look good enough, and it seems like, you can see how that is so, but deeper down, you didn't actually feel it. And so now, because you're like feeling it, you're embodying those codes. It's like, you're not at war with yourself anymore. And that's exactly where spirit wanted you to get. That's why you had to go through this thing that seemed kind of confusing in the past, this situationship, this relationship, whatever it is. It was just setting you up for ultimate success, if I do say so. So your guides got your back. If there was ever a question about that, they most definitely have your back. And it looks like there's something really great coming in soon, not just not even in terms of like just like a person, right? Because you're like, I am so much more about like my life's mission. My life is so much more than just like feeling good enough for someone. It's like now you're at that point to where you're like, okay, is this person, are these people, is this relationship, this friend group, this organization, whatever, this collaboration, are these in alignment with my highest mission? Are these in alignment with my soul's blueprint? Is this in the highest integrity for where I'm going and what I feel like I'm here for? Now that's the level you operate from versus like, am I good enough for this person? Am I good enough to do this thing over here? Should I reach for that promotion? Should I go for this thing? It's like, no, is this good enough for me? That's where you're operating at. That's where that's the direction that spirit has you moving into. And it's not even a cocky way. It's really just because you know yourself. You know why you're here. All right, pile 3, I hope this brought clarity, confirmation, peace to your heart. Please give this video a thumbs up, comment any synchronicities down below. I love reading the synchronicities so much. If you've been here before, subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I hope I see you soon. What's up, pile 4? I'm just going to say Venus retrograde has officially taken over a majority of these piles. I mean, pile 1 was the only pile that came up that didn't have something to do about love returning and like a past love. So I'm just going to start off with that and say that this has turned into a love reading. This is already a love reading because where you've been, we do have the 2 of Cups clarified by the Sun card and the 5 of Wands. So where you have been, I feel like you have been in and out of very many different types of dynamics, romantic dynamics, even in friendships. This could even most definitely apply to friendships. But it seems like you just have this very loving, this very warm energy about you that you've always had. Like you've always been someone that gives really good advice. You've always been a really good friend to people. You've always been an incredible lover. It feels like a lot of people feel like they need to compete for your time and your energy and your love and your affection, your warmth. But it seems like where you've been, you've been really good places, especially if we're comparing to other piles. But it's never a comparison because, like, right, the journey of life, we're all gonna have the ups, we're all gonna have the downs. But I feel like this is in terms of a specific area of your life that has to do with relationships. It seems like you just have a lot of fun with people. A lot of people like to be around you and have always liked to be around you. I am feeling a strong sense of this has to do with a specific person, a specific lover that was in your life at some point, because they are showing up again throughout this reading. There's like a really dominant energy that's trying to come through and kind of take over this reading. So I mean, there's definitely been in every pile, the past 3 piles, there's been a dominant energy of someone from the past trying to come through and just like reconciling, understanding why things didn't work out in the past, which I guess makes sense since these are love readings or since we're in Venus retrograde or whatever. These have turned into love readings, I should say. So there's someone, I feel like this dominant energy is someone that just felt very vibrant, regardless of whether or not there was conflict or misunderstandings. Like there's going to be anytime we're in any type of relational dynamic, those things are going to be there, right? But overall, it's someone that you would look back on and be like, wow, that was really fun. That was a really fun connection. There was a lot of lightheartedness there. There was a lot of passion. There was a lot of love. There was a lot of genuinely seeing other people, like seeing their heart, right? Seeing their heart and you offering your heart in a way that maybe you haven't felt before and you haven't felt to that extent since, right? Because moving into the energy of where you are now, we have this King of Swords, which is definitely clarifying this. I am the loving energy of the universe, right? And this is the only pile that had 2 of these cards come up. And then my outer experiences are a reflection of my internal conditions. I feel like you guys are in a state of really mastering this, because clarifying the King of Swords, you have the Ace of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles. So I feel like you have a lot of opportunities that come your way, like not just in terms of romance, but in terms of friendship, in terms of people wanting to collaborate with you. I'm hearing too, some of you guys, like people want to interview you. You're just showing up right now in this energy of like being very stoic and being very on top of your game and just like very intellectual, like very smart, very intelligent is what you come across as. So you might have, you might just be really into, you might just have a growth mindset. You might just be an individual that really prioritizes seeing things clearly, seeing the nature of reality clearly, approaching life from a very balanced state, not jumping to assumptions, not jumping to conclusions, right? Just because something is not going right doesn't mean you're inherently doing something wrong. And I feel like because of that, again, I get this sense of clarity, right? And internal clarity allows us to align with our mission and our soul's blueprint, right? So I am getting this sense of active contemplating and just active visualizations, or just really focusing, even meditation, right? Just where you are actively trying to clear your mind and to not perpetuate illusion, right? There's so much clarity that's coming through this pile that's truly astounding, pile 4. And I feel like because of it, you see it, you're it ain't no lie. I get so many opportunities. People probably give you, if you have a way where people can donate to you, I feel like people just hit your donate line up, or in the past, or in, even in the present. It just seems like people just give to you. The universe just has so much to give to you, so much to reward for you. I'm hearing that anytime you've even for a second needed something, or wondered about something, it came into your reality, the resource, the teacher, the confirmation, or you've never been without. And I feel like you're starting to see that to an even greater extent now, that your hardest job, right, is just to align with this loving energy and to watch how your outer experiences are a reflection of this internal connection. You are literally aligning with, you're I'm gonna just align with the energy of the universe, that this law of attraction bullshit is real. And so I know that no matter what comes my way, it's going to be good, right? Because what you're moving into, man, this is a very powerful pile, because I feel like you're taking this sense of clarity with you, this sense of wisdom that you've developed, and you're really coming into your heart space. So this is a very intuitive group as well. You're very psychic, you're very intuitive, but you're also very wise. There's a lot of wisdom to you. And I feel like it's going from just concept and just you're starting in the future, you're just embodying it even more with this King of Cups. You're embodying it more. It's just seeping from the pores. It just seeps out of you, just this wisdom and this grand love. I am the loving energy of the universe. That's literally what this King of Swords, or I'm sorry, this King of Cups represents. It's where you're headed, right? It's your next evolution. My daughter is super into Pokemon, so it's what is it called? Your next, Your next phase? You're going from Charmander to Charizard is what I'm trying to say. But I guess it'd be Bulbasaur into whatever, because this is the Cups family. But no, I am seeing with this 8 of Cups coming underneath this King of this King of Cups, that someone from your past might be walking back in, because even though this is the 8 of Cups, and the 8 of Cups generally talks about walking away, this one feels very cheerful to me. So someone that's gone through a lot of growth and a lot of transformations themselves, coming back in to check in on you, to see what the fuck you've been up to, right? And to maybe offer you a little bit of passion or something. This doesn't have to be a romantic person. This could also just be a friendship wanting to come back in, or someone coming back in your past in general to just check on you and see how you've been. But I am seeing that there is this sense of wanting to offer you something, and to see if that you could fit into their life, or to see if they could fit back into your life, right? To see if something could work out again, or something could be different. Yeah, we have the 6 of Swords energy at the bottom of the deck. So something you might not be seeing is this person wondering if you still feel the same way about them, or if they, there's just been a lot for the past 3 piles. It's definitely this sense of, I just have awesome people. I just have such great people drawn to my channel, because it's you guys, for most of your lovers, are probably the person that just occupies, when most of your lovers are when they think of the one that got away, I feel like it's you, right? It's you, my pile number 4. And if you're coming here from another pile, it's, that as well. But it just seems like you've been really focused on yourself. And, I'm sure you guys have been through a heartbreak, but I feel like there's a lot of resilience behind you. And I feel like that's there for a reason too. But it seems like you bounce back really quickly, and you don't outsource your happiness. You really understand that in order for anything good to come your way and to be lasting, that you have to be good within yourself first. And I am seeing that you're definitely in this energy. And I feel like there are people that come into your life And there are several options right now, even so, in your life right now. And I feel like they approach you from this level of just like coming in as a friend or coming in as like platonic. But I feel like a lot of people that come in, they like offer you something that seems like logical, or like they offer you a job, they offer you like a collaboration, or like they want to work with you, or they pay for like a session with you or something. Like it comes in the form of being very logical, but like they have an ulterior motive. It's not malicious, but it's like they don't know how else they could like get into your realms or like make their way into your world if they weren't offering something very practical to you that's also very in alignment with your soul mission and what you're here to offer. So I feel like most people just feel like yeah, because they can't read you. People can't really read you with this King of Swords. Like they see you as someone like that sees right through them, and so they're like, okay, I'm gonna try my best to I'm gonna sneak into pile number 4's paradigm, and hopefully they don't read through me. But I feel like you already know, like you can already sense what people are really coming to you for. And it might be a multitude of things, right? There might be like varying degrees of different reasons why people are entering into your life, but I feel like for the most part, people, because this really is, I feel like, talking about love a lot. Like people come in offering you like one thing. It seems like they're offering you one thing, but it actually turns into like a deeper part of them is hoping that something will switch inside of you, and that you'll turn into this King of Cups for them, right? Or this Queen of Cups, whatever. And it's like they're offering something very practical and hoping that it would turn into something romantic and that you would be the one to initiate it. But yeah, overall, I am feeling that your future, it feels like you're definitely already tapping into it for sure. But there is, yeah, I'm just seeing a lot of offers coming in. A lot of people, maybe even several people from your past coming in. I am feeling there's definitely one dominant energy. And it would probably be someone that you're already intuiting as well with this King of Cups. But it feels like someone definitely that maybe is connected with this first individual from the past that came through, someone you felt very bright with, right? You guys, there was a lot of mirroring happening. So it's like they were your sunshine, you were their sunshine. You guys probably also had a lot of other options in terms of whatever, like you guys were both very attractive to the opposite sex and very attractive to each other, obviously. So I wouldn't be surprised if there were some karmic clearings in terms of that as well. But it seems like this person is like coming back with a passion just to see what the fuck has been up with pile number 4. And again, there was that in that sense of seeing if there was any way to like, if it would fit, if it would make sense to be part of each other's lives again in such a way. But yeah, yeah, pretty coherent reading for sure. Lots of healing that both of you guys have done. You guys have both been through a significant amount of growth and healing. So, I mean, I'm not saying that it's not something that you might not want to explore, but it is just saying that you have done the work. I mean, your bullshit detector, right, with yourself and with other people is very strong. And I feel like you have your priorities straight in terms of where you source your happiness, where you source your love, where you source your sense of self. And because of that, I am seeing that, you know, it doesn't really matter who or what comes into your life. Like you're going to really trust yourself in terms of making the right decision of who stays and who gets deep access to the depths, right? The fullness of who you are. The fullness of who you are. Absolutely. So this is beautiful. You guys are powerful. This is so powerful. This is so powerful. I could soak in this energy all day, but I don't need to drag this on anymore. I'm going to leave this here for now. Please give this video a thumbs up. Comment any synchronicities down below. If you've been here before and you're not already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And I do hope I see you soon. Much love.